Hi everyone, my name is Angel from Meaningful Magic. Welcome and thank you for being here. Today, like every day, we're going to talk to you about spiritual principles and spiritual tools and spiritual breakthroughs, and ways that we can go from being who we are now to who we really want to be, and to living our divine purpose, whatever that may be. And how do we go from despair and addiction and sadness and depression and anxiety to really living in our purpose, to really finding out who we are and what we're meant to be, and not letting fear stop us in the journey. And fear and shame, I think, were two of my biggest issues throughout my life. And of course, then I react to those things and just pile on more fear and shame. So, and if you can relate to that, this channel is for you. If you can relate to, struggling internally and externally, fighting with the trauma and the sadness and the depression and all the mess that we have, and maybe some days we feel like we're losing, and for a lot of years I was losing. There's no doubt about it. I was losing that battle, and I had many spiritual awakenings along the way, and I am hoping I'll keep having spiritual awakenings each layer. But some of the things that really, really changed my life is when I started to support myself, when I started to love myself, when I started to realize that your perception of me is not my reality. When I decided to forgive myself for my past and my mistakes and for the way that I reacted to my environment and the things that I did to survive. I really had to forgive myself. So that was huge for me to learn how to do that, and it was not an overnight process. And I'm, obviously these things still come up, and we deal with them. Again, like I say, every video, we deal with those things in layers. But I often react, to all the anxiety going on and all the stress of paying the bills and all the, oh, they don't like me, or, just all of that crap that we keep inside ourselves, and we let it fester, we really seek validation from other people, and a lot of times they don't even like themselves, so, they're not supporting themselves, they're not loving themselves, and so they're probably the least unlikely able to truly give you soul support and soul love, because they're still working on their own triggers and their own mess. So I definitely had to stop letting fear stop me, because that's what was stopping me from everything. I thought I was this tough person, and I really wasn't. I had built up all these walls and this tough guy act. What the truth was, it was killing me how I was treated. It was killing my soul that I had all these traumas and I had all this stuff, and every person that I tried to, share it with and get support from would end up using it against me or betraying me. And I kept reacting instead of healing. And so I invite you to start your healing journey if you haven't. And I invite you to truly love yourself, support yourself, be your best friend, all that corny stuff you hear all the time, and it just sounds too simple to work. It will work. It will work. I really have been on a journey of learning how to transmute my pain and my shames and my past and my trauma into a message of hope and light, because I did make it out. I've had incredible abundance and incredible spiritual awakening. I went from depressed and sad and on antidepressants and antipsychotics and all kinds of stuff to going back to school and living in my purpose, and really walking the spiritual path and meditating and writing the ground. I say this every video because it's so important. especially the journaling, get to know yourself. Because really, you don't, if you've spent a lifetime masking these things, it's really hard to know yourself outside of that, outside of the traumas. And I find that that was probably the first step in my journey, was really leveling with myself, really doing that inventory and taking a good hard look at myself, and not just the bad stuff, because I had spent my entire life berating myself about every mistake I'd ever made. So I had what was wrong with me pretty clear view of that. What I didn't have was a clear view of my talents, of the things that I'm gifted of the things that I was blessed with, the message that I had, any of my good qualities, I either didn't acknowledge or I used them for evil. I had no compass whatsoever. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I was raised to believe that if you didn't dress, act, talk, and associate with exactly who you were told to, God didn't love you. He didn't approve. All those people are evil, and they're all going to die. I was not allowed to have friends from school or from anywhere because they were evil, and God didn't love them. And I was very isolated, very sad child. I grew up with a lot of aggression and a lot of abuse, and I really grew up believing that I was unlovable. And anytime I'd have success, like in school, I won the science fair one year and was invited to state science fair, and my parents were like, no, you can't go. That's an extracurricular activity, and God said, be no part of this world, and you're a woman, you're supposed to marry a missionary, and you're supposed to support a man in his work to God. And that was pretty much the only role that really was deemed acceptable. There was no excitement that I'd won. There was nothing. Just so I gave up. And not long after that, I got into drugs and alcohol, and I really started on a 35-year path of destruction for myself. I had no self-esteem. I did not believe that God loved me. I never felt love from my parents. My mother was traumatized and meek and afraid and stressed out. She had so many kids and no support. And I don't believe that my biological father was capable of loving. Truly being a loving father was, not in the dictionary. And to this day, I told him about my success of college and how well I was doing, and he put a mad face because it's, not centered around being a Jehovah's Witness. So I grew up feeling, and that's why I bring this up, not to put all blamesies or none of that, because, we're over that, or at least we're definitely working on it. But to really, this is where the trauma comes from. This is, I grew up not feeling like even God loved me. I really, and of course I ran away and I got into all these kind of darker things. And so then not only were my family judging me, but the rest of the world as well. And of course, I internalized every bit of that and judged myself 10 times as harshly as they were ever judging me. And I believed the world was going to end anyway. God's Armageddon's coming, the world's going to end. What's the point? Nobody loves me anyway. What's the point? And I fell in with the only family I really ever felt love from. Were all addicted to and really, fighting their own struggles and their own stuff. And, God loved them. They gave me every tool I had that kept me alive for all those years and through it, and did allow me to feel some type of acceptance and love in the world. I've since lost them as well, but so I really had no one except people who were in the same struggle and the same mess uh, if and you know, I kind of lost my place there. Sorry about that. So I really internalized all that stuff and growing up, and so I used all those traumas in order to try to, you know, cover the hurt. I used all those addictions and all those aggressions and all those walls and that false persona and bravado and all that crap I used to cover up just how traumatized and scared and unloved I felt my entire life. And it wasn't until I embarked on a spiritual journey and took it seriously, because I mean, I tried many times to get clean, and I had, like I said, many times through my life, I had at different levels, different types of spiritual awakenings. But it wasn't until I really realized that it is the spirit, not the flesh, that is going to create me the life that I want, and that what I was seeking wasn't, you know, no one from my outside, whether it be my children or my parents or, you know, my friends, they could not give me what I needed. So if I continued to search for it there, I was going to continue to come up blank. So I embarked on this spiritual journey, and it has been amazing. I have never been happier. I went from being evicted from 3 homes in less than 6 months to living on the bay with in a 3-bedroom bay view apartment. I'd show you the view, but it's been raining for days. It's kind of messy out there. You know, buying 2 Mercedes. I now own 2 businesses, and I don't say any of this to brag. I say this to give anyone out there who's going through what I was going through or can relate to the depression and despair and just not really having the support they needed or the spiritual tools or knowing where to start. I say that to give you hope, because there is hope, and I'm really thrilled to be here to share it with you. And man, there is hope, and it really does start with sitting down and getting to know yourself. I can't suggest enough to start a daily journal and write down where you're at, how you feel, what you like about yourself and what you don't, what your habits are that you know are unhealthy, which ones are you willing to work on now, and which ones are you not ready to give up yet. Because the truth is, we all have them, and none of us are going to cold turkey give up every bad habit we've ever had. And besides, once you do give up the bad habits you think you need to get rid of, you really do, then underneath the habits is the pattern. So that's when the real work begins. I just can't say enough about how grateful I am and how abundant my life has become, and how much more at peace I am, you know, and the ability to have people not support me and not love me and, you know, just really stay in their toxic stuff and point it at me and still be able to live a beautiful life and live in my own divine voice, not what other people think I should be doing or what they think God is or what they think my path is, or in truly taking the steps necessary to better myself and to take it seriously, to realize that this isn't something you do for 10 minutes a day. This is the ultimate goal. Like all the financial stuff and all the, you know, middle world stuff, that stuff really is a direct result of how we feel inside about ourselves and what kind of vibration we are sending out to the universe. It really is. Every single thing that you're receiving or not receiving is a direct result of your spiritual experience and your spiritual awareness and self-awareness. And if you can fix that and really take the spiritual journey and get to know yourself and change the channel with which you emit, you will literally change your frequency. You will change your results. Your life will change for the better. There's no way around it. If you're emitting abundance, you will have abundance. If you're emitting happiness, you will have happiness. If you are admitting, you know, growth, you will have growth. And so I started this channel so that, because I feel a calling to help other people come from where I'm from or are still living in those things. I want to help and in any way I can. And that's not to say I'm some kind of guru by any means at all. 4 years ago, I was the biggest mess. It's hard not to be ashamed of that, but I know now that mess created this message. So I am grateful for everything that I mean, and it was rough. I pray I don't have to go through it again. But I do realize now that everything that I went through, it brought me to where I am now. And I am very grateful to have a message of hope to share with you. And I hope you keep coming back. And I hope that you got something out of today. And if there's anything we can help you with, please contact Meaningful Magic. We'll be more than happy to help you on your journey, because love and support and, finding your divine tribe and your divine inner voice really is what will change your life. It changed, I really did change everything in my life. Like I said, we got evicted from 3 homes in 6 months, and now I have valet parking. I live 2 blocks from the beach. I live in Sunny Isles, Florida, right on the bay. Like I said, right out there. I just don't want to show you my mess because it's been pouring rain and my potting dirt and my plants fell over. But I live a life of great abundance and of great happiness now, and it is a direct result of being willing to take this spiritual journey, and I encourage you to take it with us. I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time out of your day. And man, bless you all. Just really stay up and remember, love yourself, man. You're worth it. You are worth it. The universe loves you. God loves you. It's true. You are a creature of the divine. You're a divine creature connected to the energy of creation. So celebrate that. Celebrate you. Really take the day out and write down your 5 best qualities and be proud of yourself. And really, guys, keep the faith, keep up the good work. Never stop trying. Your mistakes those are just stairs on your way to where you're going. So have a blessed day. Thanks for being here.